Okay. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you for coming. Hare Krishna, Joshita, still here? How much longer?
Maybe tomorrow.
One day. Well, nice to see you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Vancha Kalpatrabhyascha, Karo Sandhabhyevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Namaha. Is this too loud? It's okay. I'm always accused of mumbling, so maybe that's why they're doing this. So, today is the auspicious. My name is Jaisacinandana. Please accept my humble obeisance. All posters. Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Tanamane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharane Nirvashesha Shunyavadi Pashtataye Deshatarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Agyantamirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So today is the auspicious day of. I rarely see the two of you sitting here because you're always controlling that. It's nice. Today is the auspicious day of the appearance of Shri Advaita Acharya, one of the Panch Tattva. I think everybody here that I see is well aware of who is Shri Advaita Acharya. So I don't see any newcomers. So hopefully it'll make sense. So for some reason I've been giving lectures on Shri Advaita Acharya appearance for several years. So you always find more and more to say in less and less time. But I wanted to keep it straightforward and not, all-encompassing, because that's impossible to do for a pure associate of the Lord. So let's start. So we invoke the blessings. Is this visible back there? Can you see it back there? Kind of?
Way better than before.
Okay. Everybody needs cataract surgery. So, the sources of information about Shri Advaita Acharya stem basically from Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita, in particular Adi Leela, chapter 6. So let's invoke the blessings of Shri Advaita Acharya. Vande tam Srimad Advaita Charyam Adbhuta Cheshitam Yasya Prasada Dagnyo Api Tatswarupam Nirupayat. I offer my respectful obeisance to Shri Advaita Acharya, whose activities are all wonderful. By his mercy, even a foolish person like myself can describe his characteristic. Of course, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in his devotional humility, Hare Krishna Prabhu, is speaking this. You can sit forward, there's lots of space. You're early at the movie to experience rasa. So according to all of our Vaishnava Acharyas and saints, we worship Shri Advaita Acharya because it is by his mercy to us that the most merciful and beneficent Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu agreed to appear in this world. So by connection with the Lord, all living beings carry value to whatever extent their connection. I think I'm going to put this in silence mode if I could. I'm on an emergency call, so I can't shut it off. So to the extent that individuals are connected to Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is to the extent which they have empowerment to spread the message of devotional life throughout the world. And so we're appreciating Shri Advaita Acharya on his appearance today. He's not on the altar, but most of you usually have Panch Tattva photo at your home altar, and so you know he's one of the five along with Mahaprabhu. So topics that I hoping to cover today. We'll see how it goes. The tattva of Sri Advaita Acharya, the cause of the Lord's, his role as the cause of the Lord's incarnation. There are many, many interesting pastimes of Sri Advaita Acharya. You can read them at great length in Chaitanya Bhagavad because there are multiple chapters about him. But how he tests Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and how Lord Chaitanya delivered the world through Sri Advaita Acharya, and then how Sri Advaita Acharya is teaching us something very important about seva of Bhagwan. And then finally, if I have time, an intriguing pastime. We'll see how it goes. So in order to understand a pastime of the Lord called the Leela, so Leela literally means the play of the Lord. In order to understand that, one has to have some knowledge of the philosophical underpinnings of that pastime, called tattva, spreading from the word truth. And when you combine a pastime with tattva, you get rasa, you get experience of that pastime. It's not just speaking the pastime, but it's almost transcreating the pastimes. Now, you have to have empowerment to do that, and I don't have that, but we have to understand tattva in order to understand a pastime. Okay? So, Sri Advaita Acharya is an expansion of Bhagwan, specifically of Sri Krishna Bhagwan, whom in our Sampradaya, the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, we see Sri Krishna as Swayam Bhagwan, the source of all Krishna, the source of all incarnations. And Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj coined the term Godhead, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, meaning like there's a fountainhead, the river starts with something, right? A waterfall, and then the waterfall divulges into many, many rivulets, and you get rivers. So like that, the incarnations are continuously, of Bhagwan, are continuously appearing. And Srimad Bhagavatam states that they're like the waves in the ocean. You cannot measure them. They come again and again. So Sri Advaita Acharya is an expansion of the original source, Sri Krishna Bhagwan. At least in our Sampradaya we see this. Now for those individuals who come from a concept of one aspect of God, there's God, whatever we may call God by whichever name. And we understand that one aspect, then it can get kind of confusing when we talk about gods. So we're not promoting the worship of of multiple competing gods. We're instead talking about the infinite manifestations of Bhagwan, God, for infinite purposes and for infinite loving relationships, to expand the love for all living beings. And our Shastras, the Vedas, are very intricate and elaborate. There's no sort of confusion that God is great. Yes, God is great, but let us describe how He is great in a multitude of details. Love is in the details. So we have to understand when we approach spiritual matters that spirit is not limited by time, space, or our mental capacity or our intellectual capability to understand it. So when we refer to Godhead, Bhaktisiddhanta says that we refer to that absolute truth or that spiritual substance which has many manifestations for infinite reasons, but primarily for promoting happiness in the form of loving relationships between God and His creation. So this verse is the one commonly used to describe who is Advaita Acharya. So Advaitam Harina Advaitad Acharyam Bhakta Samsanat Bhaktavataramisham tam Advaita Acharya. So the translation is, I'll break the translation into two parts. So because he's non-different from Shri Hari, but the Supreme Bhagwan, he is called Advaita. And because he propagates devotional service or bhakti yoga, which Srila Prabhupada talks about as a cult of devotion. So when Srila Prabhupada is talking about cult, he's not referring it to in the typical Western sense where cult, those of you that have grown up in the West, know that cult carries a negative connotation of brainwashing and all this. He's talking about a path of devotional life, right? So, so he is called Acharya. Acharya means one who, by his good behavior, demonstrates their understanding of the matter at task. So although Shri Advaita Acharya is an incarnation of Shri Vishnu, that's what this verse says, Advaitam Hari Anadvat. So although he's incarnation of Shri Vishnu, for the welfare of all living beings, he manifests himself as the servant of Sri Bhagwan. And that's, if you take nothing else away from this discussion, understand that his primary activities are to show himself an eternal servant of Sri Bhagwan. That's his identity. If we take that away from him, then his loving relationship with Bhagwan, Shri Krishna and Bhagwan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is lost. So Acharya, like we said, means teacher. And in this context, teacher means one who helps people understand what is the path of bhakti. So the real qualification of any general preacher or teacher, I like to call it sharing rather than preaching, is that he or her present themselves as the servant of God. Cannot be God, no matter how empowered one may think one is. So Shri Krishnadas Goswami Maharaj in Chaitanya Charitamrita describes how he's non-different from Hari. Hari is another synonym for Mahavishnu. So we know that in the spiritual world there's Shri Radha Krishna, and then Shri Krishna through his energies performs the act of creation. He himself is not personally linked to it, but his energies do. He's the possessor of energy, and through his energies it occurs. Just like there's a president, and the president has empowered management, whether they're the Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Health, etc. It's their job to carry out a service. So Lord Krishna manifests as Mahavishnu, or called Karnadaksha Vishnu, because he lies in the current of the ocean. So he's the original of the Purusha avatars, the original portions of Bhagwan that are involved in creation of this entire universe. So when it is time for universal creation, Bhagwan, in a state of yogic sleep called Yoga Nidra, has unlimited universes coming out from the pores of his body. And you can see this where Mahavishnu is lying on this universal ocean, and these little globe-like things coming out of the pores of his body. But up above is Shri Radha Krishna and Golok Vrindavan, who are Lord Krishna is manifesting as Mahavishnu. And why does he do this? Because Bhagwan is willing to wait for infinite time and for infinite universes and for infinite living beings to come back towards him. And so this creation has a purpose of generating love for Bhagwan. So when Bhagwan, Mahavishnu, glances upon matter, which is unmanifest, meaning you don't have the form of a human being, you don't have tables, you don't have chairs, it's unmanifest substance. Kind of like, when you take something in cooking and it just looks like bland flour, and then you do things and you make it better. So he then glances upon this material substance called Mahatattva. And through his glance, he allows living beings to penetrate into the material world. That is how we came here. That is how we came here. There's Radha Krishna in the spiritual world. Krishna manifests Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu creates infinite universes just through the act of inhalation, breathing. And in those infinite universes, by his glance, he allows infinite living beings to manifest within that universe. At least those of us that are karmically in the position that we're going to take another material birth. There will be a subset of all living beings that will ultimately be in the spiritual world. And so they do not go through this idea of samsara, birth and death. But for those of us that are karmically rewarded, you can say, we will come back, we come into the material world through the glance of the Lord. And in this way, Bhagavan himself says, Aham bija pitaha. Right in Bhagavad Gita. I am the seed-giving father. How? Through the glance of the Lord. So you can see his potency is immense. Can I, with my glance, create a mridanga? Of course not. I can't even play it. So imagine the potency it takes to do this. And it is also explained by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, as it's stated in here, that, and in Chaitanya Bhagavat, that Shri Advaita Acharya is simultaneously Sadashiva. Now there's Lord Shiva, whom we all know about, and then there's Sadashiva, which is the original Shiva in the spiritual world of Vaikuntha. And he is considered the source of auspiciousness. So Shri Advaita Acharya as Hari, as Mahavishnu, with the auspiciousness of Sadashiva. So now back to this verse. So I explained the first two lines. The third line says, Bhakta avataram ishamtam. So Bhakta avataram. So he is Lord, Advaita Acharya, yet he's also the incarnation of a devotee. And then he says, Advaita Acharyam Ashraya. Ashraya means to take shelter of. So he says, to Advaita Acharya I take shelter. This is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So these 4 lines explain some of the overarching philosophical points about Shri Advaita Acharya. So a little bit about Shri Advaita Acharya's lifetime. So Shri Advaita Acharya, and this is part of the tattva, accepted Diksha, initiation through Sri Madhavendra Puri. So Sri Madhavendra Puri was the treasure of Shri Advaita Acharya's life. And as FYI for you, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he appeared, he took shelter or Diksha from Sri Ishwar Puri. And Sri Ishwar Puri is also a disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So this shows a little bit of the hierarchy here. So Lord Chaitanya is considered the tree of bhakti, ISKCON desire tree. And Madhavendra Puri is the seed of that tree. Why? Because he is the one who explained the theory of rasa. Hare Krishna Prabhu. So, meaning the loving relationships between God and His creation. So Madhavendra Puri was a seed of that tree, and Shri Ishwar Puri nourished that tree. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became the tree. And Lord Chaitanya divided into 2 trunks. One is Shri Nityananda Prabhu, whom you see on your left-hand side on the altar, and the other is that personality you were speaking about, Shri Advaita Acharya. So it was Shri Advaita Acharya who himself called Shri Bhagavan from Golok in the spiritual world to descend as Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the golden avatar, Mahavadanyaya. And yet he was also the foremost servant of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And we'll explore that. And like a servant, he called Mahaprabhu to descend, and like a servant, he also told Mahaprabhu when it's time to go back to the spiritual world. Servants have that potency. So he appeared, and please note this, in 1434. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in 1486. So how many years was he senior to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by material calculation? 52 years. That's why you'll often see him with a beard, but I'm sure when he appeared he didn't have a beard. But it just indicates his senior position. So he came in 1434 in a village, near a village called Shantipur in Bangladesh. And his name was Shri Kamalaksha. So Kamal means lotus flower and Aksha means eyes. So it's also one of the names for Lord Krishna. So his parents named him Shri Kamalashka because of his lotus-like eyes. They were like lotus flowers. And then he was, of course, a very nice child and very devotionally inclined and very faithful to his parents. And eventually when his parents left their body, he went to Gaya. So Gaya is a place of pilgrimage that in the ancient days, formerly Gaya is in Bihar, right? So devotees from Bengal would often go there for the last rites, like devotees in northern India would go to Haridwar, and those in central India would go to Vrindavan or Mathura. So he went to Gaya to perform the last rites for his parents when they passed away. And then he continued his pilgrimage throughout India. He did a yatra throughout India. And eventually he came to Vrindavan, and he came to know and he became absorbed in the worship of Sri Krishna. Because the Dham has such potency, it can heighten one's devotional life by manyfold, orders of magnitude. And through his dhyana, through his meditative absorption, he was able to understand that Sri Krishna was about to appear as in Navadvip. So Navadvip is back in Bengal, and right now he is in Vrindavan. So he finally returns from Vrindavan to his hometown, Shantipur. So his heart was pained when he got back there, because he saw that he himself had been transformed through the process of, at least appeared to be transformed, although his descent from the spiritual world, by absorption in Sri Krishna and the news of Sri Krishna about to descend. So he was in pain because he saw that people in the world, especially in his village in Shantipur, were, although materially doing okay, yet we have to realize that at that time, in that medieval era, India was governed by the Muslim government, and so it is also a place of harshness and difficulty. Also, realistic endeavors, just like we do right now. And he felt that their suffering was due to lack of materialistic life. And he became, we see something terrible and we say, yeah, that looks bad, and we walk by. We walk by. But in Acharya, like Advaita Acharya, they actually identify with that suffering. Like we've been saying in our Srimad Bhagavatam discussion groups, they identify with what it means to be pricked by a thorn in the foot, and they can feel the pain. We hear of other people suffering, but we don't identify with it, so we don't feel their pain, right? I might have a beautiful little daughter, and she has a cold, and I feel her pain and suffering. But when I hear of my best friend's daughter having cold, jukam, I'm aware of it, but I don't necessarily feel it the same way. It doesn't wrench your heart the same way, correct? Those of you that are parents, I think, know what this is. So he felt it, and so he knew that the process was to teach about bhakti. So he started speaking on Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, trying to engage people in the seva of Sri Krishna. So he's an incarnate. So here's something very profound. Like we said in the prior verse, he is an incarnation of Mahavishnu, Sri Advaita Acharya. And because Mahavishnu, in his form of Shiradaksha Vishnu, resides in everybody's heart as Paramatma. So he can feel the pain of all living beings, because all living beings come from Mahavishnu. A parent or a grandparent or great-grandparent can feel the pain of their child or the grandchild or great-grandchild, because there's a connection. So we oftentimes say the Vaishnava Pranam. What is it? Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavnebhyo Vaishnavabhyo namo namo. A Vaishnava is an ocean of mercy. Para dukha dukhi. Not sukha dukha dukhi. Not happy that somebody's suffering, but actually suffering because that somebody's suffering. He's unhappy because of the happiness of others. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, who's one of our, in the line of our sampradaya, the spiritual master of His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, said there's no scarcity of anything in this world. The only scarcity is Krishna consciousness, love of God. I remember when I was a medical student and I happened to come home one day for lunch and I turned on the TV and there was a documentary on Mother Teresa in public broadcasting system, PBS. And she happened to be speaking at Harvard University. And she was wearing the simple white sari that she typically wore. And she was surrounded by, the elite of the elite in academic circles, the professors at Harvard. And she got up there and said something very simple, similar to what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said. She said, there's no need of anything in this world. Shri Srimati Sachidananda ki jai, Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Bhagwan ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. She said there's no need of anything in this world except the only thing missing is genuine love and affection. And when I heard that, because sometimes as a student, you all have been students, there are stressors in life, right? Times of great test and tribulation. When I heard that, I felt myself at peace because I felt, okay, let us try to be an instrument of compassion in this world. In whichever capacity we have. We don't have the capacity of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Sri Advaita Acharya, etc., or Srila Prabhupada. But in our own little way, let us carry a little drop of water onto the desert. So there's no scarcity of anything in this world except the love of God. So he felt that just like a person who is condemned to prison can be spared by the pardon. In the West we call it a pardon, where the President of the United States will say, I pardon so-and-so. I relieve them of their guilty verdict. Or the king in ancient days would say, okay, is there this person getting killed? As an act of munificence, magnanimity, I pardon this person. So Sri Advaita Acharya felt like a condemned person is pardoned by somebody powerful like the king or the president, then people who are like us, who are unfortunate enough to take birth in Kali Yuga, which is considered the age of quarrel and hypocrisy and disturbance, and you can certainly see that in this world nowadays. We have social media, we have this and that. I remember when it came out, Facebook, texting, all this, and the iPhone, the great claims were this was going to bring people together in harmony. And what has it done? It has become platforms for negativity. Bhujan Prabhu says, he's a wonderful disciple of Srila Prabhupada, he said, just like the heart expands when it experiences something good or favorable towards us, it similarly expands And so we meditate on that good and we feel happy. And likewise, the heart similarly, thank you so much. That was creating a nice cold breeze across here. And he said, similarly, the heart expands when it hears negativity towards itself, because it's a chance for the mind to meditate on duality. Good and bad, friend and enemy, hot and cold, etc., right? If somebody says, I don't like you, then we meditate on that. I've had devotees come to me and say, that person never says Hare Krishna to me. And that causes me great disturbance. And I meditate on it. I'm absorbed in it. So we're in this age where that's the mindset. All the technical instruments that we have cannot conquer that, because that's the nature of the mind. It accepts and rejects, and it lives in that duality. It's not who we are, but there's a saying, be mindful. No, that's not the solution. We have to be not mindful. We have to be absorbed in devotion. So, but he felt that people that are living in Kali Yuga can only be delivered by Bhagavan himself. When you're really sick and you have a bad infection, then you don't need a penicillin, you need an IV antibiotic, something that's powerful. So when something is in this situation, then he felt that such individuals can only be helped by Bhagavan himself, or someone empowered for this purpose. So he thought, if Sri Krishna were to appear on this earth, he himself could show the solution for this problem by showing how to be a devotee. That's why Mahaprabhu is called the hidden Channa avatar. He's not displaying his potency in the normal sense that Bhagavan displays. He's not killing demons right and left. He's not conquering worlds. He's doing something much more special. He's showing Mahavadanyaya, which is how to have love for God as a devotee. So he felt that somebody like that, if that personality would descend, then by their personal example, they could help. And so he came to the conclusion, before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even descended, that there's no dharma in Kali Yuga other than chanting of the holy name. In the previous ages, there was opulent yajnas, there was deity worship, etc. There was also chanting of the holy name. But when the situation becomes critical, you need to bring out the big guns, so to speak. And that's chanting the holy name, Sankirtan. And that the Lord himself will personally appear and demonstrate how to do that. And he said, I will worship Sri Krishna Bhagavan in a purified state of mind. How often do we worship Bhagavan in a purified state of mind? I will constantly petition him in all humility. If my name is Advaita, then I will try to induce Bhagavan to come, descend into this world, and bring the holy name from the spiritual world down to the material world. So he is the cause of the Lord's incarnation. Now, how can we think like that? How can we think like that? He's Bhagavan living in the spiritual world. We're a jiva in the material world. How can we even think like that? So, Sri Krishna himself explains in the Bhagavatam that I have no independence. And this is, I'll give a little background, this is in the pastime of Ambarish Maharaj, a great kingly personality It's in Canto 9 of Bhagavatam. So Amrish Maharaj is the epitome of a devotee, but not a renounced devotee. One who's a king, but in his heart, his opulence is bhakti. To be renounced doesn't mean a life of poverty. It means to have the opulence of bhakti within one's heart. And so, as it so happened, Dhruvas Muni, who's a very powerful personality that is mentioned in the Vedas, he's very powerful and he has potency of a powerful Brahmana, but he also has sometimes the pride that comes from that potency, that I'm a Brahmana. Sometimes you'll see, if you go to India, somebody will say, I'm a Brahmana, I come from Brahmin family. Okay, fine, so what? Are you living the life of a Brahmin? So, Dhruvas Muni came into Maharaj Amrish's kingdom, and it just happened that it was Ekadashi. So he said, okay, I'm going to go with my thousands of disciples and take a bath, and then you, Amrish Maharaj, I'm expecting you to treat me like a welcome guest, which means give me food to break my Ekadashi fast. Well, the problem was, it shouldn't be called breaking the fast, to complete the vow of Ekadashi. So when it came time for that, Dhruvas Muni was, taking his bath in the lake with his disciples and his followers. But Amrish Maharaj knew that there's an auspicious time to honor the completion of the fast. So he asked his advisors, the priests, the pandits in his kingdom, what should I do? Because I don't want to cause disturbance to my guest, yet I need to follow the rules as elucidated in Shastras like Padma Purana and Hari Bhakti Vilas. So he was told, okay, just take a spoon, a tiny little drop of water to complete your fast. And he did that. And Dhruvas Muni came back and understood through his, potency, spiritual power, Hare Krishna, that this had happened. That fast was broken before he himself could honor the breaking of the fast. So he got upset and he created a demon. And the purpose of the demon was to go kill Maharaj Ambrish. And instead the demon started chasing Dhruvas Muni all over the place, not just on earth, but all over the planets. And ultimately Dhruvas Muni realized that he could not solve this problem by himself. When something scary is chasing you and you don't have the power to stop that, even though it was your own creation, then sometimes things get out of hand. So he approaches the Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Vishnu, and says, please save me from this demon. And Bhagavan says, Aham bhakta pradhino, hai asvantra ivadvija, sadubhir grashta hirdayo, bhaktir bhakta jana priyaha. O Brahmana, Dhruvas, I am completely under the control of my devotees. I am not at all independent. My heart is controlled by my pure devotees. What to speak of my devotee, even those who are devotees of my devotee are very dear to me. So Krishna said to Dhruvas Muni, I have no independence. Now that person who's Ishvara is saying, I have no independence. I am aham bhakta pradhino. I'm dependent on my bhakta. What my bhakta says, I do. So why is this? We've been talking about this in our Bhagavatam sessions. Because Bhagwan's essential identity is called Haladni Shakti. Haladni Shakti means the Ananda, the bliss, Satchit Ananda, the Ananda that Bhagwan is personified bliss. That's why every aspect of him, his eyes, his hands, his jewelry, his flute, his peacock feather, his dress, are Ananda, pure, unadulterated bliss. Something that does not exist in the material world, because all happiness in the material world has a start and an end. So because Bhagwan has that within him, he transmits that to those that are favorable, called the devotees. And that Hladni Shakti manifests as Bhakti Devi within the heart of that devotee. And once that devotee starts engaging in bhakti, the acts of bhakti, the acts of loving service of Bhagavan, because it's non-different than the Hladni Shakti within Bhagavan, it pulls Bhagavan like a iron filings, pieces of iron get pulled to a magnet. It's a force of nature. It cannot be stopped. So Bhagavan is not making up a lie that he doesn't really want to help Dhruva Muni, so he doesn't want to say, I don't want to help him, but I'm going to blame Amrish Maharaj. No, that's not the basis. The basis is that Bhagavan transmits the bliss of bhakti to the devotee, and when that devotee experiences it, Bhagavan's bliss increases. The example I've given in the past is a father earns money, and a father has a child, and the father, as a gift for the child, gives the child a couple of dollars, a couple of rupees. The child goes and buys a present out of their own volition, their own desire, because of their love for the father. He buys some small present for his father. And then the child gives this present to his father, his or her father. How do you think the father will feel? Tremendous bliss. His heart has been purchased by the sweetness of his child. So as below, so above. Bhagavan has that same nature. So Bhagavan says to Dhruva Muni, I have no independence. I am aham bhakta pradino. I am dependent on my bhakta. What my bhakta says I have to do because her bhakti pulls my essential nature to do it. So what a dear devotee says, Krishna does. So what was the solution? Bhagavan told Dhruva Muni, you have to go to my bhakta, Amrish Maharaj. And ultimately Dhruva Muni goes to Amrish Maharaj. Amrish Maharaj says, I have not taken any offense from your act of creating a demon that's about to kill me. And Amrish Maharaj turns to Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Vishnu, and says, whatever piety I have done in my life, whatever I've gained from that pious act, please transfer it to Dhruva Muni. This is a devotee. So if a dear devotee like that says to Bhagavan, please come down here like Advaita Acharya did, then Bhagavan is forced to descend. So considering in this way, Advaita Acharya began worshipping the Lord. He sat by the bank of the Ganga and worshipped the Lord by pouring tulsi leaves and Ganga jal. We discussed this yesterday in our Bhagavatam class. That since the Lord is not material, the Lord has no material desire. We're material, so we feel incomplete materially. I have to have that car. I have to have that spouse. I have to have that wonderful food because I'm feeling incomplete materially. So like we were saying yesterday, in the material world, we go through this process of evaluate an object that I want it, decide whether we want it, possess it, and then when we're done with it, we dispose it. That's why people have divorces. That's why people have broken relationships, etc. So Bhagavan doesn't have anything that can fulfill him materially. So to please him, one has to offer him something spiritual. And that what one is offering spiritually to Bhagavan is a great devotee in the form of Tulsi and the waters of the Ganga. As you know, if you've done any yajna through Ganga, how do you appreciate Ganga? By pouring her own waters onto herself. So by the act of offering a dear devotee, Tulsi Devi, Tulsi Maharani, and Ganga Jal, he continuously begged with loud calls for Bhagwan to appear. And because Bhagwan is pulled by the love of a devotee for a devotee, he appeared by the desire of his dear devotee, Advaita Acharya. So Advaita Acharya, it describes in Chaitanya Charitamrita that he was roaring. He was desperately, fervently, urgently calling for the Lord. And it was not just an ordinary call, but it was a call from the heart. It was a call from the human heart to the divine heart of Swayam Bhagwan. That call went through the heavenly worlds into Brahma Loka, the topmost planet in the spiritual world. It penetrated the Brahma Yoti. It went to Vaikuntha and ultimately went to Golok in the spiritual world. It touched the heart of Swayam Bhagwan Krishna. And Krishna felt impelled because of the nature of that call, due to the call of Sri Advaita Acharya, to descend into the material world. So, Advaita Acharya, so we talked about how he caused the Lord to descend. So there are many pastimes. So I'll speak about one pastime in particular. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, and initially he was a tremendous logician, knew logic and scriptures greater than anyone in Bharat. And once his parents left their body, he also went to Gaya to do last rites for his parents. And when he went to Gaya, he met his Master Shri Ishwar Puri. Now Shri Ishwar Puri is the godbrother of whom? Shri Advaita Acharya. So he met Shri Ishwar Puri, and meeting such a profound devotee who carried the Lord in his heart, the Shastra talks about how Ishwar Puri glowed like a lamp because of the presence of Bhagwan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood, which was displayed for the ordinary people of being a logician, changed. And he went back from Gaya chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra continuously. And when those that were going to become Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates, they knew him before this event, and they noted this change in mood of Mahaprabhu. Shri Advaita Acharya, Shivas Pandit, Gadadhar Pandit, they were so overjoyed with this. And so a grand meeting occurred in Navadvip, in Bengal. And at that time, Nityananda Prabhu also came back from his journey to Vrindavan. And because Mahaprabhu knew, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew that Nityananda Prabhu was none other than Sri Balaram, he arranged for Vyas Puja of Sri Nityananda. And on the eve of that Vyas Puja is like the appearance of Vyasadeva is honored as Vyas Puja. And so one's spiritual master is worshipped via Vyas Puja. Because that spiritual master is transmitting the instructions of Vyasadeva, no matter how far disconnected. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj says the Ganga originates in the Himalayas, but it comes down to Mayapur. So it carries the same potency. Just because it's not at the source doesn't mean it doesn't have the same potency. So Mahaprabhu knew that Lord Balaram also accompanied him, just like he did during Sri Ramchandraji's descent, as Lord Nityananda in this occasion. So he performed a Vyas Puja, Mahaprabhu did to Nityananda. And he showed to everybody, he manifested and he transformed Lord Nityananda so that devotees could see he's Balaramji. While doing that, Mahaprabhu kept shouting, Nada, Nada, Nada. So apparently in Bengali, this is a term of endearment. He's calling Advaita Acharya. Just like Advaita Acharya roared out, for Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu did the same thing. And revealed that Advaita Acharya had caused Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to descend into this world. As that Vyas Puja came to end, Mahaprabhu asked an associate of his called Ramai Pandit, who's the brother of Srivas Pandit, to go and find Advaita Acharya. He said, I want him here, because it's due to Advaita that I came here. And soon as Advaita Acharya had heard that Mahaprabhu had revealed his divinity, because Mahaprabhu there showed the Sadbhuj form to the devotees, as Lord Ramchandraji, as Lord Krishna, etc. There was no hiding it. He decided, just so in case people have doubt, I'm going to do something. I'm going to hide from Mahaprabhu. So he went from his home in Shantipur to Nanda Acharya's, another great devotee's home. Hare Krishna. So he hid out in Nanda Acharya's home. Now, Ramai Pandit couldn't find him in Shantipur because Mahaprabhu had sent him to Shantipur, where Advaita Acharya was residing. So then Ramai Pandit went back to Mahaprabhu and said, I'm so sorry, my dear Lord, I can't find him. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, go to Nanda Acharya's home. And Ramai Pandit went to Nanda Acharya's home and found Advaita Acharya. At that point, Advaita Acharya was super happy because he had no doubts, but he wanted to prove that, like Bhagwan, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is all omniscient. So he came with his wife, Advaita Acharya came with his wife and laid down in front of Mahaprabhu, Dandavat Pranam. He was speechless because he saw the beauty of Mahaprabhu and the power of Mahaprabhu as God. And he washed the Lord's lotus feet and worshipped him. And he started saying, Namo Brahmanaya Deva Go Brahmanahitya Cha, the prayer that we announce. He said, I pay my obeisance to Sri Krishna Govinda, the Lord of the Brahmins, he who is the welfare of the cows and the Brahmins, and who is the source, therefore, of the entire world's well-being. He's descended. Sorry, I'm going over time. So he says that. So in that way, Lord Chaitanya delivered himself. He said, I deliver the world through you, Advaita Acharya. Vishwambhar Mahaprabhu looked at Advaita and said, I have descended to fulfill your vow, for you have profusely worshipped me. I was sleeping in the ocean of milk, but your loud cries affected my heart and broke my rest. You could not tolerate the suffering of all living beings, so you brought me to deliver them. All my associates that you see around me have taken birth because of you. So Lord Chaitanya began to offer obeisances to Advaita Acharya because Advaita Acharya is the god brother of Lord Chaitanya's spiritual master. Because Lord Chaitanya was showing exemplary behavior, maintained the proper etiquette, and so he bowed down before Advaita Acharya. But Advaita Acharya considered Mahaprabhu his master. And he thought himself as a servant of Mahaprabhu. So something beautiful that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says is that Lord Krishna considers his devotees greater than himself. The sweetness of Lord Krishna is tasted only through the sentiment of servitude, seva. And then he says this verse, he says, love for Krishna has this one unique effect. It imbues, meaning it affects superiors, equals, and inferiors with the spirit of service to Shri Krishna. So Shri Advaita is God manifestation with the mentality of being a servant of God. And this is true of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. So here's a truth. Here's something very important to understand. Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, Shri Jaisacinandana Dev ki jai, Lakshmi Narasimha Bhagavan ki jai. Mahaprabhu, Lord Nityananda, Shri Advaita, they're in the category of Vishnu Tattva. They're not Jiva Tattva. Yet in this Leela, or this divine pastime of popularizing the Sankirtan movement, they're in the mood of devotee, bhakta, as the servant of Bhagwan. And they're teaching us how to love God by Sankirtan movement, chanting the holy name, by actually tasting it for themselves. You can see this beautiful painting of Mahaprabhu dancing with Lord Nityananda, and the personality on white is Advaita Acharya. And you can see this beautiful photo on the right of Shri Advaita, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada dancing. Look at his dhoti just flowing like anything. He's like, his feet aren't even on the ground. Look at that, how many garlands he has over his body. He's just floating. How divine is he? So that's the mood of Shri Advaita Acharya. The hidden mood is he's teaching us the importance of being a servant. So in the 6th chapter in Adi Leela, we find the perspective that the identity or mentality of being a servant is more attractive than even being like Bhagwan. Everyone in this material world is trying to become Bhagwan, but here it's the reverse. Lord Krishna and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are the original personality of Godhead. Yet they're the origin of everything. But because we have a tiny speck of them within us, we have their quality of tasting, loving relationships called rasa. But we can only do to a limited capacity because of our material conditioning. But by the process, Mahaprabhu told us, why is he called Mahavadanyaya? Because he taught us that the secret form of hearing and chanting the name of Bhagwan reveals the form, the Leela, the guna of Bhagwan. And in the association of devotees, Nam Sankirtan, we revive that spiritual love for Bhagwan. So Bhagwan, Swayam Bhagwan is the ultimate enjoyer. And he's no one's servant. Srila Prabhupada said, if you ask Lord Krishna to be your servant, he will refuse. He's no one's servant. But in one sense, he's the best of servants because he sustains and maintains infinite universes and gives infinite souls like us a chance to experience love in this world. So by his divine will, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna demonstrate that being a servant of the Lord is the best, most enjoyable position in all existence. So they themselves demonstrate it because they have the mood of service. If somebody's serving us, how long can we sit there and not return seva in return? How can we have lack of gratitude? So we must understand that this is what Sri Advaita Acharya is doing. I'll end by this beautiful verse. This is spoken by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself in the Shikshastakam chapter. Mahaprabhu says, Krishna mora jivan, Krishna mora prandhan, Krishna mora pranera paran, Hirdaya uparadharan, Seva kadisharan, E mora sadarahi dhyan. Krishna is my life and soul. Krishna is the treasure of my life. Indeed, Krishna is the life of my life. I therefore keep him always in my heart, sada, in my heart, and try to please him by rendering service. That is my constant meditation. That's the meditation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's the meditation of Sri Advaita Acharya. That's the meditation of is empowered disciples like Srila Prabhupada. And that should be our meditation, always. Krishna is my life. Krishna is my opulence in my life. Materially, I can have this and that, but my opulence is love for Krishna. That's what I'm made of. I exist for that, no other purpose. Let me relish that. And when we truly experience that, we will see that the happiness of that overshadows everything else. Shri Advaita Acharya ki chai, Nitai Gaur Premandi Hari Hari Bol. I don't think there's time for questions because it's 12:35. But if you have questions or comments, you can come see me afterward, okay? Let's engage in the Sankirtan movement that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inaugurated at the request of Shri Advaita Acharya. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vinda. Thank you very much. Let's chant. If everyone can put away the mats, and we can chant the holy name of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
नमो कृष्णपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyat Shatarine Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna I can help you. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, that's the second tune. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Lower the no. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Nitai Sachinandana Gaura Hari, Nitai Sachinandana Gaura Hari. Jaya Nitai Sachinandana Gaura Hari, Nitai Sachinandana Gaura Hari. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Srila Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol.
नित्यला भजन विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवाज का चर्य अष्टत्रस्त स्मृत अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद जी महाराज की नित्यला भजन विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवाज का चर्य अष्टत्रस्त स्मृत भक्ति सिद्धांत ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद जी महाराज की जय। श्रील भक्तिनाथ ठाकुर की जय। षड गोस्वामी प्रभुगण की जय। गुरु परंपरा की जय। प्रेम से को जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। गंगा माई जमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की जय। नाम आचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय। श्रीमन नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। श्री श्री निताय सचिनंदन भगवान की जय। श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम भगवान की जय। श्री श्री नरसिंह भगवान प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। राधा श्याम सुंदर भगवान की जय। राधा माधव अष्टसिक वृंद की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। जगन्नाथ बलभद्र सुभद्रा महारानी की जय। चक्र संजीव की जय। मायापुर जगपीठ की जय। वृंदन मथुरा द्वारिका धाम की जय। शुभ मध्याह्न आरती की जय। मध्याह्न आरती जगदानकारी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। इसका समस्त आचार्य गुरु वृंद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की जय। निताय गौर सीतनाथ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ऑल ग्लोरी टू द सोल हरे कृष्णा। ऑल ग्लोरी टू द सोल हरे कृष्णा। ऑल ग्लोरी टू गुरु एंड गौरांगो। ऑल ग्लोरी टू श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Namaste Nara Simaya. Namaste Nara Simaya. पूर्वक्षः शीलतङ्कानकलये इतो नस्मो पर तो नस्मो Yato Yamitato Nasimo Pahe Nasimo Hirdaye Nasimo Pahe Nasimo Hirdaye Nasimo Narasimhamadem Sharanam Prapade O Tavakara Kamala Vadenaka Adbhuta Shringam Talita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Kesavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jagadisha Hare Kesavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Kesavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Jagadisha Hare Jaya Narasimhadev 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 Jaya Narasimhadev श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की, प्रहलाद महाराज की, शिल प्रभुपाद की।
Hare Krishna, thank you all for joining. For those of you that are sitting in the periphery, you can come forward. If you can make spaces for the devotees sitting there. Mataji's. Hare Krishna, you all can come inside. There's plenty of space behind there, etc. So you can have darshan. Thank you. So, welcome all. Thank you for coming. I know it's a very cold day, but it's nice to see you all here. We can be warm together at the lotus feet of Shri Jaisacinandana. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Jaisacinandana ki jai, Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Bhagavan ki jai, Shri Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Vrinda Devi ki jai. The Divine Appearance Day of Shri Advaita Acharya ki jai. Thank you all for joining. I hope everyone's doing well. Some announcements and upcoming events. Before I forget, Haribol, Mataji's. So I want to request before I forget, Manasi Ganga Mataji, Srila Prabhupada disciple here. I think you're having a surgery coming up in the near future. So, okay. So please pray for Mataji to be able to deal with that trauma of going through a surgery, and hopefully she can get back on her feet like her normal strong self and continue to do seva for Srila Prabhupada and the Guru Parampara. So hope things should go smoothly. So let's keep for Mataji. Just please pray to the deities. Okay? And thank you very much. So, other announcements? Any first-time visitors? First time? First time? Okay. Anybody else first time? Well, you're in a very unique category. Tell us your name, where you're from, and what brought you here today. Yes, you. You're Balaji. Really? Hare Krishna. You came here on short business trip? Where? From Bangalore. Okay. How is it? It's kind of cold here, huh? Yeah. How was it in Bangalore when you left? Pretty warm? Yeah. How long are you here?
I've been here for a week.
Oh, short trip. So if temple is open from 5:30 in the morning to 8:30, so you can come and have darshan of deities. So have you been going to temple in Bangalore itself also? Yes. So Bangalore has several temples. Yes, I know. So, huh? Yes. Everything in India is huge. But like Gauranga Prabhu said, don't get disappointed. The population is also very huge. So, you do your little endeavor to best you can. But welcome. We're happy to have you here. And please bless us so that we can also continue in the footsteps of ISKCON Bangalore and other wonderful temples. Let's welcome Prabhu with a loud Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. So all devotees with birthdays and anniversaries, Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. On a very selfish note, today is the tithi of my mother, Gaurangi Devi Dasi, leaving her body in 2024. So please pray that she is having association of devotees and the love and shelter that devotees can offer her. Thank you. I know she would appreciate it all the time. Thank you very much. Next is Shri Nityananda Tirthodashi. So today was Shri Advaita Acharya Appearance Day, and Friday, June 30th, is the Appearance Day of Shri Nityananda. He's the deity on your left-hand side, Lord Balaramji or Lord Lakshman on your left-hand side. She's enthusiastic. So it's Friday, so you can end your busy work day and come here. We'll have WhatsApp emails like of temple events. It'll show this on there. So the program starts at 5:30 in the late afternoon with Aarti, and then Kirtan. So hopefully Anirudh and Damodar Krishna Prabhu, you all can have a Kirtan group, whoever is here, and have Kirtan. And then 6 to 6:30 is Abhishek. And then after that, there's a lecture from 6:30 to 7:30 on the Tattva, or the philosophical basis of Lord Nityananda's pastimes and his appearance. And then 7:30 to 8 is Aarti Kirtan. And then 8 p.m. onwards is Prasadam. So evening starting at 5:30. Please come. And then because it's a working day, albeit end of a working week, the cultural program, which consists of bhajans and kirtans and drama, Hare Krishna, will be on Sunday itself, starting at 11:30 in the morning. So please come for that as you can. Okay? Thank you. So, upcoming bhoga opportunities. So Nityananda Triyodashi, the appearance of Shri Nityananda, is on Friday. And if devotees would like to kindly, so bhoga has been sponsored by multiple devotees. Thank you very much. And then there's opportunity to sponsor flowers, abhishek, and deity dress. Suggested donations are there, but whatever you can give out of your heart, you give. It's tax deductible. Same thing is there for Gaur Purnima. So if you so desire, please offer some Lakshmi for flowers, abhishek, and deity dress. And Gaur Purnima is going to come on March 2nd, the appearance day of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that also has available offerings that you can make. So, okay, thank you very much. Next. So today's Sunday Feast sponsors are Shiva Prabhu, Sri Resha Mataji, Sham, and Shreyansh for Bhoga sponsorship. Are they here? No. Okay. And then Naveen Prabhu, Kirti Mataji, Bhomi, and Viraj on the occasion of Subramanian Prabhu, father's anniversary. Are they here? They're here? Oh, Hare Krishna. So your father left this world. What was the date?
23rd of January.
When?
Last year.
In 2025. Okay. So Prabhu's, I'm sure, asking for blessings for his father so that he can continue on his spiritual journey and have the love and affection of devotees. So our family is also sponsoring, myself and Bhaktirasa and Bhaktinarapana for the appearance day of Sri Advaita Acharya, and also in remembrance and prayers for my mother, Gaurangi Devidasi. Ashish Prabhu kindly sponsored flowers for his father, Narendra Kumar Prabhu's 59th birthday. He's becoming 59th, or he 60?
67.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you, very nice. And the subsequent weeks we have sponsorships coming up in February for Bhoga sponsorships, and flower sponsorships are available. Okay, next. There's a new calendar. The 2025 calendar has been taken down, and in its place there's this brand new spanking calendar, and it's got no devotees' names on it. There's the festivals, there's the regular Sunday feast is on your left-hand side. If you want to sponsor Sunday feast, you can pick the day and write your name there. And on the right is for festivals. So it looks pretty blank right now. Please try to fill it up if you can, as opportunity presents. Donations are tax exempt, so you get a tax receipt. But you don't do it for that reason. You do it because you're taking your Lakshmi and offering it back to the source of Lakshmi, Bhagwan. Okay, so next. There's most of us. How many of you do monthly, I'm not saying this for pride, how many of you do monthly donation, automatic? Okay, so I only see a few hands. Raise your hand. How many do monthly donations? So this is our temple, Sri Srinitai Satchidananda's temple. We come here every week. They get seva every week. It's our home. It's where we serve prasadam, where we glorify the Lord, offer flowers to the Lord. Everybody should be donating something of their hard-earned Lakshmi. Otherwise, the things of this world will bind us. That's the secret that Lord Krishna teaches Arjuna of yajna. If you take the fruit of your activity and you take it and keep it for yourself, it will bind you, no matter how pure you are. There's a famous pastime in Ramayana where that supposedly happened. I won't, for the sake of time, recount it. But please be mindful of that. Temple will always, as long as you're standing and breathing, temple will function. But it's nice if the entire congregation takes ownership of the temple too. It's your temple. It's your community. So please consider monthly donations. They're tax deductible. There's a form that you fill out along with a voided check, and you can sponsor for whatever your financial wherewithal allows. Okay? So since it's a new year, it's a chance to remind the vast majority, like from what I saw, maybe 5 people in this group, 5 families here have raised their hands, although I think more are sponsoring. I mean, think about it, everything like japa, kirtan, prasadam, shastra, we're learning here, every single devotee. So we should do that. Next. We'll have Shripada Mataji speak on Srila Prabhupada. Mataji's disciple is Srila Prabhupada, so she's kindly been speaking. Please listen and associate with Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. So this is a nectar share from my god brother Harishari. Each morning at Guru Puja, Prabhupada is personally giving out sweets to all the children. He sits on the Vyasasana as each child comes forward to receive his prasadam. There is a small 2-year-old boy from Australia called Damodar who persistently remains right in front of the Vyasasana each morning with his pudgy hand held out. Srila Prabhupada gives him half a sweet, which Damodar pushes into his mouth. Then he moves his hand over the back of his head, wipes his open palm on his sika, and again holds it out. Again, Srila Prabhupada gives him another piece of sweet, and again Damodar repeats the ritual. There are no words exchanged, simply the boy's chubby palm goes out for the sweet, up to his mouth, over his head, and back again for more. This exchange with Damodar has gone on for several mornings now, and Srila Prabhupada laughs to see him wipe his hand in such a fashion. Who has taught him this? He asked. While this is going on, the other children leap and dance and chant. Adoration for Prabhupada and excitement to be in his presence shine in their eyes. It is obvious the young children are spontaneously attracted to Srila Prabhupada because they instinctively understand that he is their best friend. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Okay, with that I'm inspired to read a pastime of Srila Prabhupada. This is very wonderful, and Shripada Mataji and Manasi Ganga Mataji and Vedavati Mataji, you will like this. It's a beautiful remembrance of Srila Prabhupada from one of your god brothers. This was forwarded in a group that I get. So in 1970s there was a devotee named Buddhimanta Prabhu. Do any of you know him? So, who was famous as a very intense and successful book distributor. There's so many. During one of Srila Prabhupada's visits to Los Angeles, after distributing books at a parking lot all day, Buddhimanta Prabhu wanted to tell Prabhupada he had just distributed 100 big books. How's that, Damodar Krishna Prabhu? 100 big books. Something no one had ever done. But when he approached Srila Prabhupada's quarters, the secretary told him His Divine Grace was too busy to see him. No, Buddhimanta Prabhu insisted. Prabhupada would want to hear this. So somehow or other he managed to maneuver around the secretary and enter Srila Prabhupada's room. And this is pretty amazing what happens. Have you heard it? So when Prabhupada asked him what he wanted, Prabhupada is busy. Buddhimanta Prabhu informed him he had distributed 100 books, big books, that day. Srila Prabhupada's eyes grew wide. Acha? Very good. He said, and then Srila Prabhupada began looking around to give Buddhimanta something as a gift for such a nice service. What do you think he did? Prabhupada could not find anything. So Srila Prabhupada took off his shirt and handed it literally to Buddhimanta, off of his back, to express his gratitude to his book distributor. Later, at the age of 36, when Buddhimanta Prabhu contracted brain cancer, he went to Vrindavan to distribute books until he couldn't anymore. By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, he left his body in the holy dham, went back to Godhead. This was told by Hanumat Prashad Maharaj. Amazing, huh? What a sweet pastime. Haribol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. How about that? The Acharya taking the shirt off his back and giving. What loving reciprocation. So we'll have prasadam pairs, and then our sense is that it'll take 1.5 sessions to have everybody get prasadam. So my humble request is that maybe if Prabhus don't mind, maybe let the elders, the seniors, and young children and the Matajis go and have prasadam while you sit here. And I see some of the ladies smiling for once. They get something first. The rest of us can stay here with the Kirtan group and chant holy name together. We think it'll be fast. It usually takes, about half hour turnover? So I know if I don't say this, so we'll have prasadam prayers. And then I'd like to see the ladies and the seniors go ahead and go upstairs. This includes the adults who can't really sit for a long time to go upstairs, okay? Rest, you're constrained confinement for a little while. Haribol. Prasadam prayers. Who would like to chant prasadam prayer? You do? Okay.
Ma prasade govinde Nama brahmane vaishnave Salpa punya tam rajan Vishvaso nevajayate Sarira vidyaja Jorendre ataeka Vive fele vise sagare Tara mate jivayati Lobo moi sudharmati Take jeta katina samsare Tina samsare Krishna bada doya moi Kari bade ji ho jai Swa prasadana dilo bai Say naam nritta pao Radha Krishna guna gao Preme dako Shri Chaitanya nitai Jai Nimai Jai Nitai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Bhagat Prasadam ki Jai.
Okay, so right now, Prabhus, you keep sitting. And Matajis and older folks, kids, go. If you have a family where you have to serve them, then you can